I have been busy making a couple little journals here. This is a bird field guide journal, junk journal, and I've used old dungarees, and I stenciled and spray oxide this type of distress oxide spray on it to get the pattern from the stencil. Sewed some old lace. Actually, I shouldn't be showing the pictures of people, but there is a friend that I'm making this for. And I've put in the front a watercolor picture of a bird that I drew and then described the different areas of the bird for doing research on finding your bird. I've added a couple tags in here of watercolor flowers, and then plenty of pockets to add information that you want to add. I did some cutout leaves and did some ink pad, what do you call it, these little brushes to transfer the ink. In here I've made some color charts. Both journals have that, where if you need to really match up the color you see on a bird, you can write down the name and know exactly what it is when you go to refer to it. And another little envelope here with a card inside. And each one of the envelopes, they can add notes about things they find or a bird they saw and document it in there. This is more bird colors, but I made them into leaves and added them to this tree so they can, add the color to their information. Another pocket with a bird in it. And I added these little cutout birds that were from some wrapping paper. And this was a scrap bird I made just to add a little fun and texture to the journal. This is a gel print of leaves. I made a pocket, another pocket on this side. Used some of the cutout stamps of the leaves, added the paper here. And then I've added some quotes all throughout the journal. I used brown paper bag on here. Some of the pages are just plain paper. This was a gel print of a leaf. No, this is not gel print. This was, yeah, it was gold gel print. I've sewn on a little dragonfly here. Two more little quotes to put in the pocket. But she can also fill plenty in this pocket of notes that she makes when she sees birds. Another little quote and writing area on the back. And I added this paper leaf here and some extra little tags that she can write notes on or quotes that she finds. Then, I used a used envelope here with gel print added around it and distress oxide spray. Then I made this little bird chart where they can put the location, the physical description. If they have a bird book with the actual bird's description in the book, they can put the page number and the name of the book here. And then you go through the different habitats, what vegetation did you see the bird at with the trees or on the ground? What kind of call did the bird have? Then the field markings of the birds, like the wings, the tail, the nape, the crown. Does it have an eye stripe? Eyebrows, bills, beak, throat, breast? What markings are on the side of the belly? What time of day it was you saw it, and what kind of weather. So I made this little field guide here that they can add more detailed information to a bird. These two friends are traveling around actually and searching out places to look for birds. So I thought this would be a nice gift to give them. Music sheet that I've stamped. So here it says, are the birds in the trees? And this one says, or on the ground. So here's a ground bird with ferns here. Another envelope, and this is cut down. There's more to the envelope on the other side. But I decorated it, and then I added a picture in here of a trip to California that we did. And then this pocket, I added a little Ralph Emerson quote, and a little bookmark with butterflies stamped on it and sewing. I guess I can show this. They both have been on a trip with me clear across to the Redwoods. 33 days of camping together. So I know they're really into the birds. So there's some more pockets with gel print paper here on a map page. And then I have these black glittered ravens that I bought for a Halloween and thought they'd go good in here. A little tag, so I just glued 2 parts of the raven down to make like a belly, they call it belly band, they call them. And in this pocket, I cut lace across it, added a button, some threads from actually chicken feed sack. I've been saving them because there's no sense in throwing them away. Got a little pile of them right here. And then I dyed it with the spray oxide. This is a gel print also. This was a dictionary page. Here's the rest of that envelope. So I cut the flap on the envelope so it could be two little pockets. And I can add a little note into there. And here's another little pocket here. The rest of one of the envelopes. Here I used some texture paste on here and made it into a pocket. And here's another one here. It's a fern print. I used a fern stencil and also used a stencil for the honeybee behind here, the bee comb. And this was the little dog went with us on the trip. And so I put some pictures of different spots that my little puppy was at. I added a bead here with some ribbon under the collage. This was a raggy bird textured, done in the challenge at 49 Dragonflies 2 years ago. And it's a pocket now. I made a big tag out of this and then used it as a pocket. This is avocado dyed paper. And I left the stencil in the dyeing process, left the stencil on, and then sprayed some oxide on it and blue, and glued these little birds on with from gift wrap. And so there's another pocket. And the rest of that dictionary page. Another little bead I glued, put onto a paper clip. Another pocket that is collage, and that's leftover scraps of different gel prints. I think most of them are gel prints on a map page. And then the last page is dragonfly wings that I drew out and then added some little rhinestones to it, and the inside cover of the journal. So that's one journal for the one friend. And then this is the other one. And did the same thing with the bird, describing what you're looking for on the bird. And I used this, I believe this was a magpie that we saw on our trip. They both had just gone whale watching, and I stayed on the land. I didn't want to do the whale watching. Did a watercolor picture here. Added the pictures of my little dog, Abby. Did color chart here again for her to be able to figure out the colors on the birds. Little gel print stuck in here. And we were at a restaurant. I think that was somewhere in Oklahoma. We did 25 states in 33 days of camping. We went from the East Coast completely over to the West Coast to San Diego, right on the Mexican border, and went all the way up the coast to California, to Oregon, and then the Redwoods right in Northern California, and drove all the way back the northern route. And we did see a lot of birds. So this is another color chart with all the different colors. Now I added a lot of yellows just to bring out the tree, but these are colors that you could find in birds. I used the same crow in this, or the raven, with another little bookmark. And this is spray oxide. Another dictionary page. This was a gel, I think this was a gel print, but then I went over it with a stencil. And another picture, the three of us. This was at a restaurant in California. We only ate out 3 times. The rest of the time we cooked as we camped. So these friends have become pretty good friends. I mean, I've known one of the girls for 40 years, and the other girl I just met for this trip. So I added a paper leaf in here, and this is another, the field guide markings, describing, so she can use that as she's traveling to write down notes about birds. So are the birds in the trees? And I added a gel print that I used a stencil to make, or on the ground, and I used a stamp to make the fern print. And I use these oxide stamp pads to do that, distressed oxide. This was one of the gel prints that I used in my journal that I made for going to California, and that's in my playlist also. And this is another pocket that had, I think this was gel print, this background, but then I drew pictures on it and used chalk ink and black marker. And then this was a stencil. I made her a pocket and added some more tags so she can use these to use as labels somewhere. Another pocket that she can add notes to. Those little forms for field markings she can put into these too. If she prints out a picture of the bird, if she gets a photograph. This was a gel print, and then I just cut it to make a pocket. Gel print of a sassafras leaf. And this is a gel print of a fig leaf. And it's also a pocket. So I did add a lot of pockets so they can add any of their writings about their trip and what birds they see. So this was a watercolor I did of dragonfly and butterfly wings. Another pocket here. And this is stencils. Another small pocket here. That's a gel print. This is some of the butterflies I cut out to make the color chart, and so I just stamped on it and added it as decoration. Another pocket here with the gold gel print of a leaf, and then this was a stencil, and then I outlined in white pen, used little stamps of a ant. And this is another gel print of the chestnut oak tree. No, not chestnut, chinkapin oak tree in my yard. And this is the other part of an envelope. I decorated it with some of the paper. Then I just did some little red ladybugs around the edge. And another pocket here. This was a gel print using some fabric that was really open weave, unusual fabric. And then the back, I just did collage with this one. And this particular one, the blue jeans, I have a little more character to it, and that is a bird with wings. Birds here, and the beak, and then the two wings. So those two are two journals that I made for a couple friends.